Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for September the 28th, 2024. Before we get going, I want to apologize for my voice. If it sounds a little worse than normal, I know it never sounds great, but if it sounds a little worse than normal, I am just getting over, like a fall cold or something. Hit me like real hard towards the end of the week, but I'm on the mend now, and we're going to get through this video. This week, Disney released a bunch of Inside Out stuff for Inside Out 2 coming to Disney Plus, and they got a new shipment of items from Batuu with a bunch of new, normally Star Wars land only items, including the new Kyber crystals and the new holocrons. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little tempted. We have, except for the black, of course, we have all the original Kyber crystals from when we got our lightsabers a couple years ago. And I have the Sith and Jedi holocrons, but I have the old ones. I kind of want the new ones and the new Kyber crystals just to see what they do differently, but that is not a thing that's going to happen this time around, at least. I also think I saw some replacement lightsaber blades on there, so if you need one of those, it's a good time to try to get one if something happened to your Savi's Workshop lightsaber, or just have some of those legacy hilts that use the same blades. And you may also have noticed that we're not in the Void space. We're out again at the edge of Void Acres for something that's too large to fit in the Void space. And I said that I kind of thought the Happy Haunt hunt was essentially over, I think a couple weeks ago. And I think I've probably been saying it since the Madame Leota video, because the Madame Leota was kind of the big thing for the year. I really don't think we're going to find anything better than that. But today might come a little close. It's honestly an item we've been looking for since July and had totally given up on finding because, we hadn't found it. And then earlier in the week, thankfully before I got sick, we popped into our local Costco to do our usual, get milk and eggs sort of thing. And they had one left. Technically they had two. They had a display one, and then they had this one. And it is the apparently much more sought after than I would have thought. Disney Mickey Pumpkin with lights and music. Now, this may look familiar if you've seen ads for Disneyland, because it looks an awful lot like the giant Mickey Pumpkin they have on Main Street, I believe on Main Street. I have never been on Halloween time. I would like to go, but then also I would like to see the proper Haunted Mansion. Maybe Florida. Maybe that's a good time to go to Florida, is go during Halloween time so you can see all the Halloween decorations and still get to go on the proper Haunted Mansion, not the Christmas one. But yeah, this is apparently a much sought after item, not just by idiots like me. I guess by idiots like me, just more idiots like me than I thought there were. Because, we've been looking for it since started seeing pictures for it back in July, back when Costco started getting in their Christmas stuff, not Christmas stuff, their Halloween stuff, because they have the Christmas stuff now. And, every time we've gone into a Costco, we look for it, and they didn't have it. And like I said, we went in, and there was this one, and then there was the display one, which the box for it was trashed, left. I had, shoulder check a couple of old people to rush over and grab this thing, because, when I saw it, made a beeline for it, about as close to running as I would ever do in a Costco. I went to get this because we've been looking for it. I'd given up on it, and we found it. So this is now you may have seen other ones like these. Kohl's is supposed to have some Disney jack-o'-lanterns, and of course DisneyStore.com has some, but this one is actually not the same as those. This one is actually a Costco exclusive item. It's also not a toy. It's for decorative indoor use only. We're outdoors, but we're not going to leave it out here. I mean, it'll probably go in a shed, but it'll go back in this box. We're not going to leave it out for the Halloween season. Weirdly, it takes 3C batteries, which I kind of thought it would plug in. It's because this thing's like $80. I kind of thought it would plug in, but no, it's C batteries. Has a timer for being on for 6 hours and then off for 18. So I guess if you're putting it somewhere a little out of the way, that could be good. And it's supposed to have color changing lights, and we didn't know this until we bought it, but it's also supposed to play music. I will be interested to know what music that is. I'm guessing it won't be Groom Grinning Ghosts. That would be cool, but I honestly, what other, I'm thinking it's going to just be kind of generic kind of ooh kind of music, but we'll find out momentarily. Because now is the time when we open it, which I probably will have to jump through. Gonna cut through the tape and see just how this is packaged. Yeah, there was an open one there, the display one. I didn't spend very long looking at it because, one, I wanted to have more of my first impressions here on camera, and two, I didn't want to have any chance of somebody grabbing the last boxed one while I was gawking at the display. Okay, this... Oh, that felt like it was another flap. It was not. Oh! I could have sworn this said it did not come with the batteries, and here they are right on top. So I guess I didn't need to go and track any down. Well, we'll put these off to the side for the moment. Also in the package we have instructions. You need to read carefully and retain them. It seems to basically just be put batteries in, turn on. I'm guessing there'll be a screwdriver involved, but I got one of those. Got our styrofoam off. Now let us retrieve our pumpkin. It is quite light, which is a good thing. And now for the final unveiling. Rip off our plastic, and there we have it. Yeah, this is, I mean, I think this honestly, I haven't seen the other ones in person, but I think this looks nicer than, at least than the pictures of the one on DisneyStore.com and the pictures of the Kohl's ones. We haven't seen the Kohl's ones either. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have picked up at least a couple of them. But yeah, we've got our, it's very light. I probably still shouldn't be holding it by the stem like this, but it's not heavy at all. Here's our controls for our timer and our volume. And, oh, we do not need a screwdriver for the bottom. Well, let me pop some batteries in this and we will turn it on. All right, our batteries are in. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh, it's already turned all the way up. So I guess just turn the timer on. And nothing. Now, to be fair, I am using batteries we already had, and they probably weren't any good. So let me use the batteries that were included with it. All right, I've put in the batteries that came with it now. Let's give it a try. And, okay, it's definitely working now. It is unfortunately a little bright out here to see it. I don't know how well, I think you can see it on the camera. It's in like kind of a blue mode now, phasing into green. Having never seen the one in the park in person, I honestly don't know if this is what the one in the park does or not. You can let me know in the comments. Also interestingly, they have just this like past week released a version of that they called a topiary in Dreamlight Valley. So I can have this now in reality. I can have it in Dreamlight Valley. All I can't have it is the actual Disney park. But I turned the sound all the way down just because I wanted to do that little reveal separately. Let's crank that up now and see what that sounds like. Oh, it's actually quite loud. Oh, this isn't that far up. I'm not going to go all the way because I am outside. Let's listen to that for a second. Okay, so that's interesting. It's not exactly the ooh kind of thing I was expecting to turn that sound off. I have no idea. if it'll get copyright flagged or not, but it's certainly going to start to annoy me if I leave it on. Yeah, it wasn't quite the ooh noise I was expecting, but yeah, it's not Grim Grinning Ghost either. If it ain't Grim Grinning Ghost, it ain't good enough. But I do like the little witch's cackles in there. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I feel like just leaving that running on loop for 6 hours, one, it's going to kill your batteries faster. And two, it's going to get annoying. I feel like it's like, what, maybe 15, 20 seconds there before it looped? And it's got an audible like gap in the loop, and I do not like that in these sorts of things. That's like my only complaint about the Haunted Mansion ornaments from Hallmark, too, is there's like this gap in between certain parts. Particularly the playing of Grim Grinning Ghosts. There's a gap in the middle of the song when it switches from one thing to another item, and yeah, I don't like that. They should be able to smooth that out. There should be a smooth, continuous loop. There shouldn't be that like half-second pause in the middle there. But again, I'm not going to leave the music on anyways, because on Halloween night we'll have our own music playing, and again, that music would get pretty annoying. So construction-wise, I think it looks really nice. I'm sure it looks really nice on camera. It is just it feels like fairly thin plastic, fairly brittle. Definitely want to keep the box and packaging for this for the other 11 months of the year that you're not going to have it on display. Because I do feel like breakage is a very real thing. And I do now wonder, well, again, I mean, the one I saw in the club that was open, the box for it was thoroughly smashed in on the side, and it was okay. I think it's probably why they picked it as a demo, as the box was messed up. And the pumpkin seemed to be fine. I didn't notice any damage on it, but again, I didn't spend that much time looking at it because I wanted to grab the one that was in the box. But it's nice. I do love the paint job. I think that they've done a good job with the paint, with the creases on the pumpkin, with the paint on the stem. Even on the back where you're not really going to see it, because I mean, those controls would be kind of ugly to have on display, but you can put some other stuff down there along the bottom, especially if you're leaving it turned on all the time for that 6 hours on, 18 hours off thing, which is, again, kind of a cool feature if you're going to throw this in a display and just leave it there, because you could put some hay or like creepy graveyard cloth around the back or something, and it would cover that up just fine, or indeed more pumpkins if you're doing like a full, like 360-degree display. You'll walk around, just put more pumpkins back here to block it, whatever. But it looks nice. I mean, the seams around the ears here are fairly obvious, but I don't really know what you could do about that. Obviously, it's going to be more than one piece. This isn't just a single... I guess they could do it as just like a mold on the side and the mold in the back and then the stem on top holding it together, but they've not done that. It does also have an opening on the bottom here. So I guess if like you wanted to get in there and change out the lights or change out the music or something, this would be your access point. I'm guessing the screws will be under the little rubber feet here. They are rubber, so it won't make a horrible jarring noise when you put it on the ground or a table or whatever. It does dampen the noise from it nicely. It's very cute. It's very, very large. This is honestly larger than I realized it was from the pictures. It's one of the bigger, this rim, I mean, this rivals the size of some of the tombstones. It's not quite as tall, which is why I've put it up on a table so we could see it a little bit better. It's not as tall as the tombstones, but it's definitely got a bigger footprint than some of them. I think this has a bigger footprint than the cat tombstone, and it's maybe just a little bit shorter than Madame Leota. Maybe it's a little bit shorter than the cat as well. But yeah, it's going to be a nice addition to Halloween, and it does have a nice sturdy box. Well, the box itself isn't that sturdy, but it has nice chunks of styrofoam in it to help keep it safe the rest of the year. So I'm definitely pleased with it. Definitely think about it. Interesting thing, I did not need a screwdriver. I don't know if I showed this already or not. I didn't need a screwdriver. The base plate clearly is meant to have a screw in it, but it didn't come with one. I don't know if that's intentional or a defect, but I guess, if I'm minus a screw but plus 3 C-cell batteries, especially since the ones I had didn't work, that is probably a plus. But that's all we have for you this week. The Disney Mickey pumpkin with lights and music from Costco. This is the Costco version. Again, there are other Disney jack-o'-lanterns out there. DisneyStore.com sells some, Kohl's sells some. If you have some of the other ones and you have this, what do you think? How do they compare to each other? Because again, I don't know that we're going to get any of the other ones. I know my wife has been looking at the Disney Store ones, and we've yet to see them in Kohl's. We haven't gone and looked that many times in Kohl's, but when we looked at Kohl's, they didn't have any. So I don't know if we're going to acquire any more Mickey and Friends pumpkins this year. But if you've acquired this and some of the others, how do they compare to each other? What do you think? What are the others made out of? Because I was kind of expecting more of a foamy material. My experience with fake pumpkins has generally been that they're kind of like a fairly heavy foam, not hard hollow plastic like this. So, or at least not this hard a plastic, maybe more of like a softer, like a blow mold style of plastic. Because this is actually a fairly hard plastic. So definitely don't want to drop it because I feel like it's going to crack pretty easy if it takes any impact. But yeah, what are the other ones like? What do you think? What do you think is better? And have you had any luck finding this yourself if you were looking for it? Again, it took us a month. We literally were looking since July. We finally tracked one down this week. But I like it. I think it'll look really good in the dark. I mean, it's morning right now. Want to do this early because it's going to be like 90-something degrees again today. Because, autumn in California. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. But I hope you found this all interesting or entertaining. I do thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it at all, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.